Hey, FLB Youth, this is Pastor Cody, and I hope you guys have had a great weekend. Today is Sunday, which means we're getting ready for another week. As quarantine is lifting still, we hope that you are staying safe, staying healthy, and we miss all of you. But today is day 7 of our spiritual practices devotional. And so I'm excited because today is an important day, like every other day is, but this one, is a little bit harder for a lot of us to do. And that is prayer and fasting. That's the ticket today. And, a lot of us, we kind of shy away from, especially fasting. I know me, I love food, and I know a lot of you guys do as well, but it's kind of the same when you're living life and that moment where you're sitting on your foot too much or your hand and or laying down, and all of a sudden your hand goes to sleep, and you move it and it starts tingling and starts waking and you have movement and whatnot, and it's equally painful, funny, and weird all at the same time. In the same way is prayer and fasting. Is just like you're moving your toes gets feeling back in your foot while it's asleep. Prayer and fasting does the same thing for your body, for your soul, for your heart, as it kind of redirects or reshapes the desires of your heart to be more like God's, to be less like us. It's not easy. It's slightly painful. It might seem a little weird or seem a little funny sometimes of what you're doing or what God is asking you. But prayer and fasting wakes us up to the truest realities of Jesus and his kingdom, to his heart, to take us away from ourselves. And if we can break it down a little bit more, is prayer keeps us engaged with God, and what he's doing. It keeps us in communication with God. And like any relationship, the closer we get to God, the more we're going to want to talk with him, the more we want to spend time with him. And that's what prayer does, is it's us communicating with God. It's us having communication with God. And then fasting reminds our bodies that we don't have to rely on food or anything else, but on God alone. It kind of takes away all the distractions, and your body is constantly telling you that you're hungry. I don't know if any of you have fasted before, but I encourage, take a week and just try and fast, or maybe it's just a day. And your body will remind you constantly, hey, I'm hungry. Hey, I'm still here. Hey, you should eat that cheeseburger or those chips or that cookie or whatnot. Your body's gonna be saying, hey, feed me. But then it's every opportunity to engage with God instead of doing that. And so when you take prayer, which is communication with God, and fasting, and put it together, and you're spending time not indulging yourself in food and spending more time, or at least spending that time that you would be eating or thinking about food or whatever that may be, and spending it in prayer with God, spending time with God, it transforms your spiritual life. It takes your life to a whole new and deeper level than you've ever been before. And so when you do those, it's mostly done in private. You might do it as a collective group, but when it comes down to it, not eating food when no one's looking and actually spending time, it's between you and God. And so it's that moment that you can say, okay, I'm going to choose this, and I'm gonna do it daily, or I'm gonna do it every Friday, or I'm gonna take this week, and I'm really needing to seek after God. And so in that moment, when it's done alone in the secret place, it's perhaps the only thing done in secrecy that brings life. There's something that is going to be transformed within you. And so as weird as it may sound, when your toes start wiggling or your hand starts tingling and it's waking up, your whole life will be transformed into this more abundant, amazing